AI, what is blind optimism?
Blind optimism refers to an excessively positive or hopeful outlook on situation or future outcome without considering the potential risks or downsides. It involves a lack of critical thinking or skepticism, leading to unrealistic expectations and potential disappointment. Blind optimism can cause individuals to overlook potential obstacles, fail to plan for contingencies, and underestimate the challenges that may arise. It may also prevent individuals from seeking help or feedback from others, as they may believe everything will work out positively regardless of any potential difficulties. Ultimately, blind optimism can lead to poor decision making and to see the full picture.
Come on. You seen it, you heard it. Like like in the words of the black conservative. Now, yep, it's me again. They hate me, that's why they give a fuck about me at the same time. As always, JD Miles. The MGTOWs they love to hate. Even the ones that claim everybody loves to hate them, loves to hate MGTOW at the same time. And I'm back again. In which y'all should know what tonight's topic of discussion is going to be. It's their blind optimism is the reason why they constantly fail to stop the Manosphere, Redpill, and male spaces. Uncle JD, what do you mean by this? Don't worry, I'll explain to you in pure detail. Now, as y'all were told, blind optimism, a person who is completely blind to optimism is a person that just looks at all the things in a positive aspect, always hoping for positive things and positive outcomes up to the point to where they completely ignore the negative side effects of their blind optimism. Look at it like this. They so busy looking at the pros, and I believe I said this before, constantly. They're too busy looking at their pros of the situation and the advantages that they pay zero attention at all to the cons. They pay zero attentions to the negative. They pay zero attentions to the drawbacks because they so one-track minded about all the positives, all the benefits. Listen up, kids. Here comes my first example. And the first example is, get this. We're going to talk about the Me Too movement. Now, true. They did got big time celebrities. They did Me Too make big time celebrities like I don't even remember their names anymore. But yeah, they had several victories, but get this. They so busy celebrating their victories that they don't pay attention to where the Me Too movement gets completely defeated at. They like this. Example A. They're so busy trying to get all these celebrities, athletes, actors, what may have you, completely locked up and punished to the point to where they'll just take anything as a fact, even though it'll turn out to be false in the end. Say, for instance, Brian Banks, Brett Kavanaugh, Matt O'Riza, and many, many others. These men that I mentioned were men who were falsely Me Too'd. And there are many other men that they attempted to Me Too and failed. And for what? Because some of those females was lying about being raped or SA'd. However, the Me Too movement didn't want to talk about it, nor did they want it to clear the air. Why? Because they were too busy. They were way too busy looking at the men that they can convict, brought to trial, and have punished to the point to where they will just allow any female to sit there and say that, oh, this man raped me back years ago. This man saved me years ago. And they all bought into it up to the point where the real truth comes out, and everybody finds out that these men were innocent this whole entire time. These men were innocent this whole entire time. And when that happens, the Me Too movement always got quiet. The feminists quiet. Everybody's quiet. Some will even try to double down. You even had some who tried to double down and try to make these men guilty, even though they were proven innocent. And I look at this whole guilty until proven innocent bullshit as nothing more than what it is. Bullshit. But it doesn't stop there. But that didn't stop there with the Me Too movement either. They were still so focused with their blind optimism to the point to where, sure, with these big cats getting punishment for the things they did, now the Me Too movement is now looking at the situation as, okay, okay, now that these men who thought they were going to get away with it is now punished, this will make all these other men respect us. Yeah, it did made those men respect these females now. The only problem, a bit too well. Now, here comes the cons and the drawbacks. Now, instead of these men working with these females at jobs and all these other places like the Me Too movement thought it would, instead, it made the men start repelling from females altogether. It got so bad that you even had one feminist jumping up saying, "Yeah, it's wrong to be inappropriate to a woman, but at the same time, you can't ignore us." Well, guess what? Watch those men ignore y'all now. Now it's to a point to where men don't even want to associate with women in the workplace. No more parties, no more business trips together. No. In fact, I know a few cats that would not even be in the same room as a female because they fear that they might say the wrong thing. As innocent as it is, they may say the wrong thing, and guess what? They ask getting Me Too'd. So the men like, why take a chance? You even got female bosses that don't want to hire female employees. So instead of the Me Too movement, bringing respect to the workforce, to the workplace, and all that other jazz, in the end, the only thing the Me Too movement did was complete and utter gender segregation. Complete gender segregation. Now it's to a point where men don't even want to be around women in the workplace due to fear of them being Me Too'd as well. Congratulations. Even the actor who plays Superman, Henry Cavill, spoke out on this. Just for the feminists to force him to retract, in which I don't even look at that shit as a retract at all. Nope. Uncle JD do not look at that shit as a retraction at all. Especially if the retraction was forced. Anything that is forced is not an actual thing. No siree. Here's another example. Body positivity and fat acceptance. In which of course Uncle JD believes that shit is all one-sided. Because fat acceptance and body positivity is only for women only. For the men, if you're a man in this situation, somehow that's different. That is completely different. But they were so blinded in their own optimism, believing that being one-sided, this causes for only just this certain group of a gender, and not make it equal for both genders. That and the fact that some of their members were exposed for being hypocrites, their whole entire cause is now starting to fall apart. Now I know what you're saying. Where I'm getting at with all this. Well, look what's happening. Look what's happening right now, which has been happening years and years, and yet they still wonder why their shit isn't working. You got the anti-Manosphere, you got the feminists, you got all these other retarded fucks, as well as the government, trying anything and everything they can to shut down Redpill, the Manosphere, MGTOW, and all other male spaces. But they wonder why their plans is not working. It's elementary, my dear Watson. It's because of the fact that they are so busy being in their complete and utter blind optimism that they're not paying attention to the drawbacks of all their goddamn plans. They too busy focusing on this right here, this is gonna stop the Manosphere, that's gonna stop the Manosphere. And guess what? They constantly fail. And we see it time and time and time again. Now it's down to a point to where instead of going after the Manosphere, Redpill, and all these other male spaces as a whole, they now have to double back and go after certain groups. Certain groups of the Redpill and the Manosphere, thinking that they take out these key figures, target these key figures, that's going to completely undo everything the Manosphere, the Redpill, and all these other male spaces bring to the forefront. What they don't see, or in some cases refuse to see, is that their plans are failing. Again, they're too busy focusing on the pros, but they don't pay attention to the cons. They're too busy focusing on the benefits, not enough thinking on the drawbacks. You you got you got you got wives divorcing their husbands at such a rate. But then people wonder why men don't want to get married anymore. What's the fucking point? And it's even worse if they divorce their husbands and they have kids with their ex-husbands, and they expect for other men, especially men with no kids, to come in and play stepdaddy, but then get disappointed when those men they expect to come in, sell with them, be a stepdaddy, refuse to do so. Now they want to go on these retarded fuck ass campaigns and shit, all because these men don't want to do what these single mothers want them to do. That's blind optimism. Too busy focusing on the expectation that they completely ignore reality. And these are some of many examples. And that's what David Meyer said. Like pride, blind optimism may go before a fall. And which, of course, that is a direct quote. You gotta look at both the pros and the cons of each and every situation. If you only just focus on the pros and not the cons, then what are they gonna do when all their plans start failing? And they find themselves constantly going back to the drawing board, coming up with another plan, thinking that it's gonna stop Redpill and the Manosphere, just to have it completely backfire in their faces. And they have to go back to that drawing board over again and over again and over again and over again and over again. Maybe you should be less optimistic and be more rational when it comes to situations like this. And as far as this diverting hate bullshit I've been hearing, I look at it as nothing different. Once again, they haven't learned a goddamn lesson. They still rely on blind optimism, not real blind optimism and expectations, instead of looking at the bigger picture. You're looking at the negatives, but you look at the positive side of shit. But what are you gonna do if your plans have drawbacks? If your plans have setbacks? Oh, they're not focusing on that because they're more focused on the benefits of it just working and shit, and they wonder why they stay failing. Uncle JD ain't bullshitting on this shit. There's a reason why pharmaceutical companies always have to talk about the negative effects of each and every pill that comes out. Because they know that their wonder pill isn't as wondrous like they think. And this situation right here, fellas, is no goddamn exception. And unless they address the cons of their plans, they're going to continue to fail. As they say, history repeats itself, and those who don't learn from their past mistakes are forever doomed to repeat it out the gate. But nevertheless, I said what I had to say. I'm done. I'm done with this discussion, and I'm out this bitch. Later.